What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here. And yeah, I know it's been a really long time since I've done a video. Yeah, I'm always saying how I'm planning on getting back to a regular routine of getting videos out quicker, but that just doesn't happen. You know, I get really busy and I end up neglecting you guys, and I do feel really bad about that. So as always, I'm gonna attempt to get my shit back in order and get some more videos out for y'all regularly. But yeah, before I get to my normal content, I figured I'd tell you guys about my time at Psycho Las Vegas, which I went to a few weeks ago. So Psycho is this huge fest with a shit ton of bands. So yeah. Most of you guys who have known me know that Emperor is my all-time favorite black metal band. They were one of the first that I got into way back in high school, and they've just stuck with me ever since. And I never got to see them, man. They did play the States. They played like North Carolina, which is very close to me, back in the late 90s. But I want to say it was like a day or two after I had gotten back from being on tour with my band, and I wanted to go see my girlfriend, so I just didn't go. Big fucking mistake. That girlfriend's gone and Emperor is still here. So yeah, I wasn't gonna miss this show for anything, man, because there's no telling if I'd ever get another chance to see him. And yeah, I'm not here to talk about the dumb shit that Emperor did when they were teens, nor am I here to invalidate anyone's feelings about that dumb shit. We can make a separate video on that if we need to. But yeah, seeing them and Merciful Fate on the bill was an absolute no-brainer for me. There was no way that I was gonna miss this. It was also gonna be my very first time in Vegas since I was like 8 years old. You know, when I was 8, I remember going there with my parents. More on that in a bit. All right, so the first thing I noticed when I landed is y'all in Vegas are wild. Y'all have casinos in the airport. And the craziest thing to me was there was actually people there when I landed. And I landed at like, I don't know, 9 a.m. But what was even more wild was the fucking heat, okay? It is disgusting there. Like, no place in existence other than hell should be this hot. And all of these people are like, oh, it's just dry heat. And so it's not like it is in Georgia where it's the humid heat. No, you're a fucking liar. It's just as bad. It's probably worse. But the first place I went to was this amazing vegan sushi spot called Daikon. If you're in Vegas, you should definitely go there. The food was crazy good, and the waiter was probably the most friendly and helpful waiter I've had in a decade. But then I went straight to the fest, and the fest was in this huge hotel called Resorts World. So huge that they had multiple different stages inside the hotel, which is nuts. My only complaint with the fest is the fact they didn't allow like even small bags or water bottles or hand sanitizer. It's fucking stupid. But anyways, I caught Carcass and they were incredible. I've seen Carcass a few times already, but this is probably the best time that I've seen them. Like, the sound was perfect. The set list was great. They knew exactly what people wanted to hear. They even played Keep On Rotting off Swan Song, which made me super happy. But yeah, Carcass was really good. Next band I saw was Wolves in the Throne Room, and I couldn't watch more than one song because the sound was absolute dog shit. It didn't seem like it was their fault, but all you heard was treble coming through the speakers. So yeah, I left while they played. But then I came back for Mayhem. Who Mayhem was okay. I've seen Mayhem a few times before, and this was probably the worst time I've seen them. They weren't bad though, and I also can't say for certain if the issue was because of them or because the sound guy fucked up again. But for their first song, the sound was completely off, meaning they were just playing through their amps into a huge room. The next song, the music was fixed, but there were still no vocals. By the third song, they got everything together and they sounded fine. Then it was time for the big dogs, Emperor. But first I had to run out and get food. On the way back, look who I ran into. I didn't want to bother him, but I said, fuck it, you know, and it could be fake, but he was extremely kind. Like, and that's the most you can ask for in terms of meeting, you know, musical heroes. But when I tell you that Emperor was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, it's no hyperbole. The wild thing is, they sounded perfect. Like, they sounded so perfect that for a hot minute I actually thought that maybe they were playing to a backing track, but then they started playing things slightly different than the record, and I was like, nope, 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 they're just this fucking good. And they pretty much played everything I wanted to hear. But when they were playing, I seriously felt like I was 17 again, man. Like, and as corny as it sounds, it was almost like a religious experience finally getting to see these songs that I've been obsessed with being played live. And when they were done, man, I seriously thought to myself, that was completely worth all of the money right there. After Emperor, I left to go crash at my Airbnb because Vegas is 3 hours behind Atlanta. So by that point, it was like 3 a.m. I got to the Airbnb and the turd lady sent me the wrong code. So I had to call her over and over until she finally responded. And her initial response was this. Why the fuck would you ask someone if they tried turning the knob? Like, I don't know what kind of dipshit she's used to renting to, but who doesn't know how to open a door? But yeah, at any rate, she finally figured out that she sent me the wrong code. She gave me the correct one. I got inside the place, which was filthy, but whatever. We're not here to dwell on that. So since Over canceled, I didn't bother going to the fest at all on Saturday because there just wasn't enough bands that I wanted to see for that to justify the high price. So I spent the day eating and going to record stores. Honestly, Vegas record stores were nothing to write home about. Big meh. I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, Saturday, it just so turns out that one of my favorite artists and friend, Chesky, was playing a show at this really cool DIY spot for somebody's birthday. Yeah, man, I was able to catch that, which was a lot of fun. Chesky always puts on an amazing show. He's easily one of the best songwriters and performers of our time. I also ran into an old friend, Chris, who Dead End had actually worked with many years ago. So that was cool, totally random. I also met some really nice friends outside the show, before the show. I won't say their names because I don't know if they want them mentioned here, but very, very friendly. Actually, man, everyone that I met there was super friendly. I also met a dude who said he was there because I put him on to Chesky. So I don't know, man. Hearing shit like that is pretty fucking cool. Sunday, the final day. was pretty cool. I got up early and I took a tour of Zach Bagan's haunted museum. Bagan, I don't know. It's basically a place where this guy, Zach Bagan, who I've never heard of prior to this, he collects all kinds of artifacts from terrible people, mostly murderers and serial killers. Charles Manson, Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, etc. But and the place is actually supposed to also be haunted. There's even a basement there where there's a big pentagram drawn on the floor, which they claim was there before, like somebody actually did that because they were doing sacrifices down there. But you can only go down into the basement if you pay extra, which my dumbass did because, you know, I've been trying to get possessed for many years and it just hasn't happened yet. So I'm trying to hurry this shit along. Either way, it was definitely cool and worth doing if you're in the area. You're not supposed to take pictures inside, but I didn't know until after I had taken this pretty worthless ass picture and got scolded. So yeah, I apologize, Zach Bagan. So after this, I went to Circus. I went there partly because I wanted to try gambling because I've never done it before. But also, since I was a child, I've had this vivid memory of riding up an escalator in Circus up to this weird area where there were all these games and shit. And the weird thing is I don't have a lot of memories from that age, but this one has always stuck with me. So I wanted to see if I could find that escalator. I wanted to see how it would feel to revisit that exact place. And I think I found it, man. And yeah, it did feel really weird. Like, I don't know for a fact that it's the same escalator, but I definitely had this weird deja vu feeling riding up it. And it definitely went up to an area where there were video games and shit. So, I don't know. I also did a little bit of gambling, actually a few hours worth of gambling, but you know, since I don't really know how to play any of the games, I just did the slot machines, like an old lady, fucking golden girl. Call me Blanche. And it was actually a lot of fun, man. I see how easily people get addicted to this shit. You know, I lost some, I won some, but all in all, I probably only lost about 40 bucks. And that was after a few hours of playing. So, you know, I think it worked out pretty well. There were only a few bands that I wanted to see that Sunday, the main one being Merciful Fate, but I also wanted to see the band Spirit World, who I've been a fan of for a while, and they were fucking awesome. I knew they did the whole cowboy aesthetic, which seemed weird to me until I saw it live. And it somehow fits the music really well, man. But yeah, the next band that I saw, Merciful Fate. And anyone who knows me knows I love me some King Diamond. He kind of was the first metal band that I really got into. I've seen King Diamond plenty of times, but I've never seen Merciful Fate because it's been like decades since they've played the United States. But wow, man. Finally seeing Hank Shermann playing those riffs live was just incredible. And the band sounded great, man. They played a lot of the hits that they knew people wanted to see. My only small, tiny complaint is I would have loved to see them play either Egypt or the Bell Witch, but that's okay, man. It was still an absolutely incredible performance. You know, I met a few friends, a few people I've only spoken to on the interwebs, saw some old homies, but yeah, it was overall a great time, and I'm glad I did it. Now, would I do it again next year? Probably not. I hate fests, and I'm not a huge fan of being around tons of people, which is why I stayed in the Airbnb and not at the hotel that the fest was at. But yeah, I feel like they'd have to have more bucket list bands to draw me back there. But outside of Emperor and Merciful Fate, I can't think of any other metal bands that I need to see bad enough to go back to Vegas, as I really wasn't that big of a fan of the place. But yeah, for people who like fests and like being around tons of people, and especially people who like being in the heat and hearing really loud music all day, this is definitely for you. But I had a good time. If you went there, drop some comments down there. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, after this, back to our regularly scheduled program. And yeah, I'll definitely have a video for you guys very quickly. I don't know why I'm speaking with my hands so much. I don't know why I'm doing all this. All right. Yeah, anyways, as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you, and I'll see you guys very soon. All right? Peace out.